What's up guys, and today we're going to be going over one of the more complex things about Tekken or any other fighting game if you want to apply that knowledge, which is punishing, right? Which is the ability to hit back once someone has basically done something that's stupid. Or minorly stupid. For example, doing a Robin Godfist is 10 frame punishable, basically meaning you get small frames out of it. But yeah, I'll be going over what is a punish, be going over what type of punishes are useful, and multiple other things to do with scenarios. Now, to clarify what a punish is basically hitting someone back for putting themselves in too many minus frames, right? So being in minus frames, that's not a problem, right? But once you're at minus 10 or above, that's when it becomes a problem. Because once you become minus 10 or above, it means the opponent is guaranteed to have a free hit on you, depending on your character pick or whatever that, but most of the times it's a free hit. So looking here, I've set the moves to 4 different moves that Armor King will do, and I will punish them differently. If he does the unblockable, I either hit him before he does it, basically to insinuate in a real life scenario match, what if someone decides to do an unblockable, and the punish there is to basically hit them, or make them whiff it, then hit them, right? The other thing is working on what is launch punishable, because there is a large difference between getting a solid punish that will get you a lot of damage, and a punish that will get you a combo. Now, to tell what is a punish, you need to look at the bottom left, right? You'll see it every time something happens. For example, that left, I messed up. Here, boom, it says punish. Basically that means he can do anything about that, and that's how a punishment works. If you can place the attack right, or if you can time the attack right, or if you know the execution, you do the attack in response to that attack, but make sure you block it or make them whiff. Now, when it comes to blocking attacks, you really need to figure out what is minus to a huge amount. Either set the bot to do certain moves, and then you'd retaliate with another certain move, and if the move says punish, that's your punish, and that's probably your best punish. However, don't be scared to see what you mix around with. Just because it isn't confirmed doesn't mean you're going to get a good thing out of it. For example, King's 10 frame punish is probably the most interesting on hit, because it leaves him at +2. Now the neat thing about that is he can do a giant swing afterwards. So sometimes it's best not to do the 12 frame punish, but to do the 10 frame punish, because it leaves him in a better situation. That's what you've also got to look into as well, situations that will work well for your punish. Now let's say King does that. Well, Armor King does the shoulder you just saw. Armor King, well, King and Armor King. King will respond with a hop knee, because that is the best punish that he can do at that time, and that's the thing you need to figure out. What is the best punish for your character? For example, Kazuya's best punish is his electric. 14 frames, it's great, however, high execution is required, so you also need to look into that when it comes to punishing, is how good is your execution. Can you buffer frames? Can you do proper inputs? That is one thing you've got to look into. And with King, not a large amount of execution, so your punishment is very easy. Now to go for some more situations that are possible within a punishment scenario, right? So with both Kazuyas, right, both of them, it's very easy to tell what's punishable. Now in a mirror match, you can basically punish whatever, because, you know, it's a mirror match. You both know the same characters, and you know what's good against your fucking character, and you know what's good for your character. Now, Kazuya has 2 punishes, right? From his 10 frame, he has 112 and 122. Both are great for different scenarios, and both are useful in their own ways. For example, with 112, it's a wall splat. Doesn't give you anything, but a shit ton of Oki. So boom, boom, boom. If the person doesn't tech, if he doesn't tech again, that's all basically confirmed. If they don't tech or roll or anything like that, that will hit them, and it will hit them hard. So that's something you gotta look into when it comes to that punish. However, 122 on the other hand, it's a different story. But I'll wait until the gameplay's done with 112 just now. Like 122 is a different story. How it works is that it does more damage. However, both of you are neutral frames, basically meaning it's neutral gaming. It's both of your turns, right? You can choose to either back up, go forward, or whatever, right? So doing this will not leave you in a good end game scenario. However, let's say we're at the point where you're about to end the round, right? Because it does more damage, the smart thing to do would be to confirm that damage. So 1-2-2 would be the better option in that scenario. However, if you're near a wall and they're not going to die from it, then do 1-1-2, because then you get Okizeme that is insane. So there's a lot of different situations that you can apply to each scenario. Now the next one we're going to go over now is a very tricky one, right? Remember, keep an eye on the bottom left when it says punish, right there. The next tricky one is making the punish available for you. For example, the electric, that is a move on plus if it's on block, and if you're up against the wall, it's still Kazuya's turn, and it's a very nasty turn for him to have. Then we take away that advantage from him by ducking. Now, to cause a whiff scenario, to cause a punishment scenario, without having to block a move, you may be required to basically either duck a move that you know is a high and you know it's coming, or you're required to basically back up and create space, right? Or sidestep, right? So that is another punish scenario. So you make the space, about to see it, make the space, got him, punish. That's solid. So that's one thing you're going to have to look into, is making space from your opponent. So backing up, make them whiff the attack, or ducking underneath their hit, making them whiff the attack. That's what you need to do to create multiple punish scenarios where your opponent actually has the advantage if these moves land on block. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. You've got to learn a lot, you've got to train a lot with your character. I can't teach you specific character things, I'll be here for years, right? However, with your character, this is the fun part, figure out what is punishable, what's your strong punishable moves, right? What moves are good for punishing your opponent, right? That's one thing you need to figure out. And you need to figure out, how can I create space from my opponent? How can I make them whiff? What's my good punishers from while standing stance, or from getting up? Anything like that. That's what you need to go for. You need to figure out what's your punish. This is another complicated scenario that can definitely happen within game, and depending on your character, you can equal different things. Now, Devil Jin is a character that has a panic move on up 4. If you block it, it's punishable. However, it's not easy to punish it because of how high he is. Because of how high he is, he can actually avoid a lot of attacks. He can avoid high, mids, and lows. However, you need really high hitting mids or lows. For example, I use 4-4-4 here, 4-4-3, I use down back 3, I use the delayed hop kick, I try to time a 2-4. That's what you need to learn to do in this type of scenario. You need to learn, how can I hit him before he hits me? Because even though he does have some fast attacks like this one that will come afterwards, you need to learn to hit him before he actually comes down and hit you, because you're actually advantage here. If you block that move, it's still your turn. However, it's tricky to keep your turn because of the way Devil Jin acts, because there's a lot of moves that will whiff, like you're seeing right now. 1-2, that will sometimes hit, or it sometimes won't. Delayed hop kick, that will always hit, right? So what you want to figure out is, if you block certain moves, even though you're at advantage, you need to figure out how to punish some of these attacks, because up 4 is a deadly move with Devil Jin, and you know, it's your turn, and you shouldn't let that fucker have your turn, you know what I mean? He stole this from you. That's the way I see it. So it's like, you need to figure out what's a good move for a certain situation. For Jin, parries are a good option. Hop kicks are a good option against Devil Jin, and there could be things such as Eddie's low move, which can't be punished correctly even if you block the low. Sometimes you need to delay it or use a different move. So again, look into what's good for the situation. Well anyway guys, I hope I made a good tutorial on punishments. If you're stuck, quick brief. Basically, what I would do, go to training, have your opponent block the entire time, or you block the entire time, and let moves go out. And basically, after blocking them or letting your opponent block them, see what they do to retaliate and see if it's a proper punish or not. You'll be told in training, and that should help you definitely. But anyway guys, that is the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know by leaving a like, and If you guys want to leave any suggestions in the comments below, I suggest go right ahead. I want to hear what you guys need a tutorial on in Tekken. I'm willing to help. That's the way I'm feeling right now. I want to make all these tutorials because they're genuinely fun. I get to sit around, I get to mess around, and you know what? I like that shit. I do like that. I like doing that type of shit. The other thing is, no stream, but there will be a video prepared for Wednesday, and I hope you guys will enjoy it then. But anyway guys, subscribe and all that, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!